Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Grant reacts, I guess, to the Stormgate gameplay preview trailer in pre-alpha. Today is when this was released. It was about 9 hours ago this came out in the public, and the embargo was lifted. Basically, everybody besides myself that is a StarCraft content creator made a video about it at about the same time, and then my video is a little bit late. So why is that? Well, I figured what's going to end up happening is that all of them are going to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb, look at all the stuff that's happening, all of whatever, and then have that video come out. You know, they'll spend like 27 minutes just taking a look at it, even though it is a 3-minute and 44-second video. And then it'll come out right as the thing happened. But I wanted to instead talk about community reactions and that sort of thing. Like, not just what was this video, but how did the actual normal people feel about it? Because it's important to remember that myself and all the other content creators, we're not normal people. We're just weird, but also we are, by our nature, people who absolutely adore RTS, right? We've all chosen to make our full-time careers RTS, and we're also financially incentivized into the success of Stormgate. Every single one of us wants this game to succeed because our job becomes a lot easier if it does. So instead, I wanted to see, how are the people on the field? How does Mr. Bobby Bronze and Sylvester Silver how are they feeling about it? Are people excited? Are they unexcited? What are the overall feelings? We will talk about that after we watch the video, but we should take a little bit of a look at the video first because this white screen is hurting my eyes. I hit space and I was not in this, so I don't know what I just put a space in. Hope it's not bad. All right, as I said, it's a 3-minute 44 video. I will be pausing a couple times through it so I can finish my thoughts, whatever, before a scene changes. So first here, nice little combat line. First thing I noticed when I saw this, so this is footage that we kind of got to see, not in its full extent, during the Stormgate VIP summit that happened a couple weeks ago. So we've all seen this before, and we all had access to these videos to make our videos and have them come out. So it's not fresh and new stuff to us. I want to say, before this happens, one unit that I did notice is this guy. He's an artillery that sieges up, and then instead of like a siege tank, which has a hit scan weapon, he fires this big old blue orb that does a ton of damage, and he has this red reticle on the ground that allows you to see where it's going to hit, so you can potentially split your units and dodge. Okay, how do I do this? I want you to, about 4 months from now, remember the word thresher. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not angry. I'm just impressed that, yeah, no, I can't say anything more. Thresher. So they show off a bunch of stuff here. Honestly, it's a little bit hard to follow just because there's a lot happening at the same time. For the most part, it looks like RTS. A lot of the common feedback is that this looks very Warcraft 3 Reforged, specifically in its art style. Like, I don't think that people are wrong with that, and I think that that is something that's going to have to be worked on as time goes on. Obviously, it is a pre-alpha. This is not final product. This is only one terrain tile set, etc., etc. Another thing I noticed is that unit spacing is really big. Like, if you look at these units, there's a lot of space in between everything as it moves around, so they don't want stuff clumping up as much as StarCraft 2, which I think is a noble goal. One of the big frustrations that people have with StarCraft 2 is AoE just blasting people to smithereens, and forcing things to be split up is a way to limit that without removing AoE as a design option for all of your units. Also, there's dogs in this game, and I really hate that there's dogs in this game. Because I don't want to kill a dog. I don't want to shoot a dog. I don't want to hurt a dog. I just want the good boys to be happy.
Hi guys, this is TLO. obviously played RTS my entire life, so it's been a real privilege for me to be one of the first people to try out Stormgate. Really stoked about this match against Kevin. Think I'm gonna do some light harass in the early game and then just try to overwhelm him with a massive amount of macro.
So one of the things they said in the PC gaming reveal thing is that all the Terran build, I don't remember what this faction is called, all the Terran buildings are built with 3D printers, and I think that's kind of neat. Doesn't really matter, but it's fun. Also, this game really does look like Warcraft and StarCraft mashed up, doesn't it? There's just a gold mine right there. I don't know what it's called. Someone said it's called like anime or something, and the demons are trying to steal all of our anime.
Hi, my name is Kevin Monkdong, and I work on gameplay and balance on Stormgate. Today, I'll be trying a fast expansion build, and then I'll try to tech to higher tier units to defend whatever TLO throws at me.
Oh, what's it gonna throw? Oh my goodness. The guys. So this is a mechanic. In this showcase, they don't actually talk about it, but these trees over here are pretty interesting. Basically, they are a bunch of small trees that are interspersed. It's called like light forest or something. Unlike these normal forests that you cannot pass units through, the light forest small infantry can walk through, and larger things cannot unless they use special abilities to blast through the trees. I'm not sure I like this. When I saw it the first time, I was like, ooh, that's really spicy. I like that quite a bit. But as I've thought more, it's like, that seems like it just limits builds quite a bit. Like, it just blatantly favors one unit. I don't like things that are very binary, like, well, this favors this unit type in the early game, so you gotta go for it. I'm a little bit afraid that that's what this is gonna be. But I do think it's a really interesting idea. It just, there needs to be something good for heavy units and bad for infantry that can be used at some places to balance it out, you know? I don't know what you would do, though. So, you know, he had nothing when he got rushed. Very common RTS thing. So he had to pull his workers, got his big boys out. They're doing their big boy things.
He did a lot of worker damage there, so I'm at a pretty bad economic disadvantage. I'm gonna have to try some really sneaky tactics, maybe getting an upgrade TLO isn't familiar with, perhaps maybe even luckily creepjacking him. Sneaky
So I'm going to go back here. So as you could see, this is pretty obviously not like a super legitimate game that was played. It was here to showcase some stuff that was going on. I don't think that your strategy is build 2 factories to make the really big guys next to the forest that they can't get through. That doesn't seem like the best build order. Maybe it is, Monk. Maybe I just don't know this game well enough, but it feels like it was very contrived specifically to showcase this. That is fine. It is important to remember when you're watching anything like this that it is fundamentally going to be contrived gameplay and not natural, and that is good. You don't want to just see like 2 people that have played 33 games total trying to play a fully legitimate game against each other, because it would be bad. Esports looks good because people have tens of thousands of games. So, but it is important to pay attention whenever you're seeing anything in any game that is being broadcasted like this, that every single scene has a reason that it is there. They have something they want to show you. And you can infer quite a bit about the values, not like the morality, but just the things that they value in their product by what they do and what they don't show you.
maybe getting an upgrade TLO isn't familiar with, perhaps maybe even luckily creepjacking him.
So then they show, oh yeah, and now he can use his dropship to move the big guys over, which I think is good. It helps deal with the issue of the big guys being limited. Obviously, there does need to be something for the big guys. And then, yes, that is a chicken with a bucket on its head. They said that's a placeholder creep. I don't believe them. I think that's making it into the final product, and I love him. I'm just going to let that scene play out again. I just wanted people to watch it. So, this is very interesting. This is actually what I was getting at when I was talking about people showcasing their specific values about what they think is very interesting about an RTS. And what we saw here is two of the same dropship on different teams that both have the ability to pick up units at range and then drop them off. And as a result, we got a little bit of a micro battle here. And the first time I saw it, I found it hard to follow, personally. Those two, like, they got picked up at a range. There's, like, units going in and out everywhere. It's hard to tell who exactly is winning until the end, in my personal opinion. And I'd be really interested in seeing your guys's, not seeing. I guess you do leave text, so I do see it, but I don't think that's how I'm supposed to say it. I'd be interested in hearing your guys' opinion for a clip like that. Do you think that's the type of thing that you're excited to play in a game, or is it not? Because when I look at it now, as a Protoss player in StarCraft, I go, ooh, Warp Prism juggling. I actually really, really like that. It's a ton of fun. Even though Immortal drops are very, very bad in StarCraft 2, I've always been a really big fan of them because you're like juggling two Immortals with shields up and down, hitting their barriers, trying to alternate them back and forth. I enjoy that gameplay a lot. However, I understand that there's probably a lot of people that don't. So I'd like to hear opinions on that sort of thing, and the fact that that is one of the things they wanted to showcase in this. I find it interesting, and I want to hear your guys' opinion too.
Here, I'll attack again from the right side through the light trees, but this time we'll bring in a larger force from the left side as well. And I think I'll be able to out-micro him here. He has a more static mech army, I believe, and my bio unit should be able to touch all the tech shots, get in there, and have a pretty smooth path of tech here.
So this is the big final fight. Sorry. TLO is like, all right, I'm going to out-micro him. And then he has all of his riflemen shooting a building while the artillery is sitting in the back. I love it so much. Oh, it's amazing. Oh yeah, look at that micro. He's gonna win. He's absolutely gonna win. But I find it so funny. And then that is actually the entire gameplay trailer. So when people watch the entire thing as a whole, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loop it again in the background on mute so that we have something going on in the background as we go. And we talk about people's opinions on it as it was released. And the honest answer is that people were whelmed. They were not overwhelmed. People did not think that it was like, oh, that's amazing. But they also weren't like, oh, this sucks. They were just like, all right, yeah, I mean, this is a game. It's being made. And the common answer to that basically everybody that is defending the game had was, dude, this is pre-alpha. Nothing is final here. Everything is up to the subject of change. The art style is going to be made more crisp and clear as time goes on. There's going to be art passes, all that kind of stuff. All the units are going to be different. Nothing you see here is a final product. Literally says that in the top left. And those people are 110% correct. However, from all the communities that I was looking at, I looked at Reddit, I looked at the some Twitch comments, both my own and some other people's I was poking into as they were doing their live simulcast. That's the reason I didn't do a simulcast with this, is because I wanted to check other people's Twitches. I saw my own Discord, which is one of the biggest StarCraft Discords. And I was just looking at the way that people were reacting to it, and that narrative was everywhere. This is a pre-alpha, nothing is final. And I think that's bad. Not like someone is doing something wrong here, but it is it's not about the game. I guess that's really it. Is the large majority of the narratives here are like being, I don't want to call it copium, because it's not people coping. It's people saying the exact correct thing, but it's not getting excited about the product that is coming out. That is not what the average person's reaction currently is. And I want to talk about a little bit of why I think that is. First of all, this is pre-alpha footage, and the average person doesn't actually care that much about game development. This is just a thing. I find it incredibly fascinating. I've done some game dev in the past. I've done some, consulting work and design work on some stuff. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's interesting. I love seeing these early peeks at what's going on. I'm not sure that that is the best path for them to be going with their very early marketing that they're doing. They say that they want to be very transparent about stuff that's going on. And honestly, I think that is a very, very wholesome and reasonable thought, right? Having that transparency, I think, is wonderful in theory. However, taking into context the current circumstance of the RTS genre, I think that it is a little bit misguided and it is causing some issues. So if you look at the last couple games that have come out, there has been first Age of Empires 4. That was like the big main title release that happened a couple years ago. That was like the first real major one in a long time. And the game is fun-ish. Like, it's fine. I open it up every once in a while and play some Skirmish versus AI. About 150 hours total in it. And it's pretty decent. It does appear that it's not really getting much support in the future anymore, which is unfortunate. But like, it wasn't a blockbuster success. It was not an Age of Empires 2, which is what it had to live up to. And then after that, the next major RTS that came out that somebody made a video saying that it was going to fail and explained why, was Company of Heroes 3. And that game bombed really, 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 really hard. Company of Heroes 2 was huge. In fact, if you look at the Steam user statistics, Company of Heroes 2 is a good 3 to 4 times bigger in terms of player count than Company of Heroes 3, despite being over a decade old. So that was a major release that failed. It was very sad to see. And as a result, the RTS scene recently has been coming out with a lot of unpolished content. And it's causing people to be frustrated, right? Like, there's a lot of games with a lot of potential that are 3/4 of the way finished, and then they come out, and that is then kind of what we get permanently. And I think that is the reason that people have these huge expectations, right? They see Stormgate, they're like, oh, it's all the Blizzard devs. Blizzard is known for polish. Warcraft 3 was amazing. StarCraft 2 was amazing. Let's go. And then they see stuff that isn't finished yet, which is the intention by Stormgate. They want to have that level of transparency, but what they're associating it with is the release of a product that is unfinished, because that's what keeps happening. It's how people keep getting, I don't want to say scammed out of their money in the RTS scene, but they're not getting their money's worth anymore. So I think that there's a little bit of a disconnect from what Stormgate is trying to do with this very, very early footage and what we're getting, or what people are feeling is what I mean to say. And I think it is quite a shame. So what I would like to do in just this comment section is really, let's just talk about interesting stuff, you know? Like, I don't want to have like the Debbie Downer of, oh, I don't like the graphics because the graphics are going to change. I don't want to have the like, oh, this unit looks overpowered, because who cares? It's in pre-alpha. What I want is, you see this real, where is he? There's like a really, really big medic guy over here. He's like in the back doing his little thing. Oh, I can't see him anymore. That's a shame. What do you think this guy with his eye does? Let's just talk about, do you think he looks cool? Do you like his design? I think he's interesting. He definitely, do you think that he fits this art style with these guys? They look fairly generic, like mixed troopers. How do you like the big robot guys? What do you think about the artillery? What do you think that the demon guys could be like? How do you think, what would be interesting ways to do all that stuff? Let's just talk about cool RTS stuff and kind of celebrate potential. Because there's been a lot of just like, stuff today. And that's okay. I'm just going to give them time to do their thing. And just cool stuff, you know? Like, look at this guy. He's so big and he's a medic, I'm pretty sure, because he does green, and green is the color of life. But he also shoots green. So maybe he's the death dealer. I don't know. Is he regenerating energy when he shoots? I can't tell. Doesn't really matter. I can speculate. It's fine. As long as I don't keep playing, we won't see if I'm right or wrong. So yeah, what would you guys like to see? Can you think of any interesting things? What do you think that a third faction would be? I don't know if this game is going to release with 2 or 3 factions, but it seems like it'd be weird if it was only 2, right? We haven't seen that happen in a Blizz-like RTS since Warcraft 2. What do you guys think there could be? What do you guys think would be awesome? What should be added? What abilities do you think would be really cool? Do you have a idea for terrain that buffs big stuff and nerfs small stuff? That's one to think about there, isn't it? Like, let's just talk about a little bit of this stuff. I just don't like the narrative. I don't like the, oh, it's in pre-alpha narrative that is everywhere. I want to talk about interesting and fun things. I want to celebrate the ideas of RTS, and maybe, just maybe, someone from Frost Giant will pop into the chat, plagiarize everything that we said, and it'll make the game even 1% better. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I know things were a little bit different. I know this was a little bit of a scattered video. I didn't have it super planned out. I had like very brief notes of what I wanted to say. And it definitely wasn't like anybody else's Stormgate preview, I'm pretty sure. So it is what it is. I don't know if this is going to flop or if it'll be interesting, but I just want to hear people's thoughts about stuff. So thank you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.